Welcome friends, I'm going to be doing a flip through of my Johanna Basford coloring book, Wonderful Wildflowers, and kind of giving you my thoughts on the book, my book review after I've actually colored in the pages a little bit.
Fair warning, this is probably not going to be like most other flip throughs. So for most of this, I have not colored yet. So this first one was a spiral of flowers that I thought looked like a snail, so I made it look like a snail. I ended up loving it so much that I decided to do another one. This one is a work in progress, it's not done yet. So this one I made it look like Fern Gully. I've got Batty here, Krista, Zach, her father, and the lizard's name. What was his name? I don't know if I can remember his name. If you remember his name, let me know down in the comments. So I turned these two pages into a Zelda theme. So I've got Ocarina of Time over here. I've even got the little chicken, which I love, and a Poe, and the three fairies, and of course, Navi and Link. And then this one I made after Tears of the Kingdom, and I've got all the cute little Koroks, and the big Korok, which is Pestus? Pestus. So this one I ended up not being too terribly happy with, but I mean, it still looks pretty good. Definitely very bright, which I love. And unfortunately, it did bleed through on the other side, so I'm going to have to figure out a way to cover that up. But I have some paint markers coming in that I think I'm going to be able to fix that. Here's my other snail. So it was just a spiral of flowers, and I turned it into a cute little snail. So you'll notice a lot of pages like this where it's literally just a single flower on the page. So there's a ton of empty space. This one in particular was just these little flowers here, and everything else was blank. I had to draw in Alice and the rocks, the butterflies, the rocking horsefly. I had to basically turn a page that was practically nothing into something, which this one I just absolutely love. So this one was also after Zelda. This is Majora's Mask. So it was just a heart made out of flowers, and my husband had a great idea to turn it into Majora's Mask. So that's what I did with that one. This one is really difficult because I wanted to keep the integrity of the flowers and still make sure that they still looked like flowers, but also looked like the mask. So this one was, again, just this little flower pot here. I had to add in my little characters, the rocks, the leaves, the moon, and the tree. This is from a kid's show that I watched when I was a little kid called Once Upon a Forest. If you've ever seen it, let me know down in the comments. Once Upon a Forest. So we've got, what was his name? Russell, Abigail, and I can never remember the mole's name. Edward? I don't know. If you remember the name of the mole, let me know down in the comments. I think it's Edward though. So this one, every time I saw so it was just this part right here, and it just looked so much like a giraffe. So I added the ears, the little horns or the nubs, whatever they're called, the eyes, the nose, and then the little neck. And I just thought it came out so adorable. All right, and then my very last one, this was just a simple flower wreath. So I put this cute little fairy in here, put some stars and a moon, and thought it looked, you know, pretty cute.
There you have it. That was my flip through of my Johanna Basford coloring book. So I've seen other flip throughs of her coloring books, and they're all really fantastic. So I was really surprised when I got this one. This is the first one I've ever bought, and there's a lot of empty space. If you are the type of person who you really want to add your own artwork to it, you really like backgrounds, making it your own, you may really enjoy this. And if that was her intention, if her intention was to make a coloring book that people could make their own and do all these elaborate backgrounds and add-ons, I would be totally fine with that if the price point made sense, and I don't feel like it does. So this was a really fun project, but if you're the type of person who just wants to color and relax and you don't want to add your own artwork, you don't want to think about it too hard, this may not be the coloring book for you. This wasn't her strongest work, I believe. I did really enjoy turning all of these coloring pages into something unique. I just don't know if it's worth $18. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe. It really helps the channel grow, and I'll see you next time. What was the mole's name? What was his name? What was the name? Edgar. It was Edgar. I remember. Edgar was the mole's name.